coming down and a party going on in Salt Lake City. It is the Red Rocks birthday bash as friends, family, and former Utah gymnasts all gather again inside the iconic Huntsman Center to celebrate 50 years of excellence against the Gym Cats at the University of Arizona. Hi everybody, I'm Jim Watson alongside Elisa Mao, and welcome to the Huntsman Center. It's going to be a big night. Bunch of alumni coming back. They're giving out t-shirts, bundt cakes. They're giving out bundt cakes tonight. But it's all about the gymnastics, and Utah is now number 4 in the country and coming back from their longest road trip of the year. They went 5,000 miles out and back to Morgantown, West Virginia, but it was worth the trip.
Yeah, and it was a great meet for them. They had season highs on 3 events, but they have room to grow. The coaching staff is inspiring them tonight to be more dynamic, more finesse, and one event where they're going to get some more dynamics tonight is the return of freshman Avery Neff, who will be in the bar lineup tonight. The last time we were here, she had 2 sprained ankles, and so excited to see her back on the bars.
Yeah, we're surprised, and it's wonderful to have her back this quick. People in the arena now starting to figure it out. Let's take a look at the national standings. Oklahoma's still at the top of the table, 197.5 or better in every meet this year, but Florida and LSU, the only teams to go 198. The big score in Morgantown kept the Red Rocks in the top 4. What about Utah? Senior Grace McCallum has been good all year, leads the team with 12 wins, but she took it up a level. 3 season highs in West Virginia.
And her level of excellence, across all the events, coupled with the consistency, is just outstanding. As she continues to build her confidence in that vault, I expect her place in the national rankings to continue to rise. She sits 9th currently.
While Utah is keeping it real, Arizona is having a dream season. Utah has improved its team score every week this year. The Cats, of course, are herd animals. Emily Muller has been good on bars and great on beam and floor. Elena Dietz posted 2 season highs last week against Denver, and Allison Fears had a career night with 3 season highs.
Allison Fears is absolutely a total package for the Wildcats, the team MVP from 2024. She has a 95% career hit percentage. She's the team's best scorer on vault, so technically sound on bars, takes her senior experience, leads them off on beam, and is really coming into her own on floor at this point in the season.
Arizona is on fire, coming in looking for their first 197 and a chance at the upset for Utah. They are rolling and ready to show off in front of the greats from the past and a capacity crowd. Number 19, Arizona. Number 4, Utah. Red Rocks birthday bash, where everything is coming up rosy. Teams inside the Huntsman Center as they celebrate the Red Rocks birthday bash. This program is 50 years old, and it still looks great. Arizona, number 19, Utah, number 4. Carly Dockendorf now in her 2nd season as the head coach. They're ranked 4th in the country, led the Red Rocks to the Pac-12 title and conference championship, 3rd at the NCAAs a year ago. John Court, well, he's been around 27 years in Tucson, 7 as the head coach. Best start as a head coach at Arizona, led the Gym Cats to their 5th straight regional appearance last year. Olympic order is the home team. Utah begins on the vault, where they're ranked number 6. And they have a different look. I've been calling for this for 30 years. Put the names on the back of the leotards.
It is exceptional. Everything they've done to prepare for this 50th season, but particularly this birthday party tonight, is so on point. It's a throwback inspired by a former Utah Leo. And but names on the back of leotards like that, again, game changer.
Happy to see it.
Yep.
All right, so Utah averaging 49.2. They have a couple of gymnasts that are ranked on this event. They'll start with Ella Zervis, who's been in the lineup vault every meet. 4 times she's gone 9.8 or better.
We'll start with the Yurchenko 1.5 vault, the 10.0 start value. Very nice in the air, super clean vault, takes that large step forward, will be probably between 2 to 3 tenths. But her vault, the dynamics in the air and her form really separate her here. Gets good push, legs bent a little bit on the way to the floor, but she was criminally underscored last week at West Virginia, in my mind. So good to see her put out a first vault, nice and clean.
Arizona begins its evening on the bars where they're ranked 12th. They average 49.1, and this is Emily Muller. She's gonna have a busy night. She's in the all-around. 3 times this year, she's gone 9.825.
another senior, a very nice and high Tkachev, but catches too close to the bar. So the bent arms will be a deduction, and lacked rotation, didn't turn over that. So there will be a rhythm deduction as well. But what an exceptional handstand at the top of the bar, and her double layout.
Hold on to it on the heels.
Yep, so slid back, and I really don't like how close she was to the bar on that dismount personally. She pulled in a little bit, and when we say pulled in, what it means is she closed her shoulder angle. So we'll see it in a minute here. You want to release the bar at the longest, furthest stretched position that you can be. And when you pull in like that, it limits your height, it limits your distance and your rotation, which led to that hop.
Scores will populate as we go through the night. Zerba's got a 9-8 to open things for Utah. Here's Grace McCallum, of course, in the all-around tonight. She's been up and down on the vault. 9-8-5 twice.
Another 1.5 here.
Gotta hold that landing. Yeah, much better.
Really, really great to see her confidence grow on that vault like I talked about in the open. That is the best landing we've seen from her so far this year, and you can tell this point in the season, you are grinding, and it is about celebrating this improvement that you can have incrementally. Just moves the left foot. The right foot didn't move at all.
McCallum is an exceptional gymnast, but it's been the vault that's been kind of the bugaboo for her. That's why the reaction.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Good for her.
I'm just
No
loving
score
seeing.
Muller, no score yet for Arizona on bars. Next up will be Abby Martin, another all-arounder for Arizona.
She
Abby has been in the lineup. Sorry, Lisa. All meets this year. Scores have gone up in 4 straight meets. She had a 9.875 last week.
Yeah, just such maturity in just her sophomore year. Worked so hard since she wanted to be in the all-around, and really got into the shape to be able to do that. I love the extension in her toe point and her handstands here. Opens the hips into the Maloney. And a nice pack caught with straight arms. Let's see the handstand positions there. We'll talk about those all day on bars. Just a straight cast handstand like that needs to be within 10 degrees, and a turning pirouette needs to be within 20. And wow, the difference in her double layout you could see from her to Muller. She let go at the correct point, and the float on that was just fantastic. Abigail Martin, just have yourself a year so far.
Yeah, perfect combination of amplitude and distance and lots of time, and I think your adjective float was perfect. Watch it again.
Right, it gives you more time to find the landing and to hit the correct shapes in the air. So you technically want to have fully stretched hips the whole way down, as she does there. Kylie Cratchwell, the bars coach, has done a phenomenal job in her 3rd season.
Yeah. Abby was spotting the floor, and her head was still even with the high bar. Lots of time. There's Cami Winger, who this year has been in the all-around once, put up a huge score, but they use her in 3 events, and they'll do that again here tonight.
Sat out vault last week to rest an ankle, so doing the 1.5 today. Great push, awesome landing.
She's got 9.875 on that vault twice this year, but as Lisa just told you, was not in the lineup, the vault lineup at West Virginia a week ago.
And this is what the Utes are looking for on vault right now, is just continued dynamics. And the higher you are, the better block you have, the more air awareness. You're gonna have a little bit more time. You can't spot the landing when you're coming in forward, but a really great job by Cami to find that.
By the way, the 9.9 by Grace McCallum is a season high best vault for her. Zerbis went 9.8. Now the scores are in for Arizona. Muller, a 9.775, and Abby Martin just went 9.8. Aubrey Kronfeld now.
Does the toe-on connection to the Maloney here, like you see. Oh, goodness. So looks like she missed her feet on that toe-on going into the Maloney, which, you know, the timing and the physics on bars are essential. If you are a half second too late, if your toe misses the bar, it is so dangerous. Glad to see that the mat was there and she was okay on that, but you could see her left foot slipped off the bar. So the first toe on, good foot placement, and then when she was coming off, yeah, both the feet, but also the shoulders didn't look like they're in the right place, but that is an essential connection to this routine, so she needs to start from scratch. Little Archie on that toe-on, but gets the feet.
Listen to the Utah fans get behind her now because they understand what a struggle this sport is for anyone. So colorblind and just watching the gymnast fight through it.
Yeah. Again, fighting for these handstands. So important to come back and finish the routine.
Good for her.
Very nice double layout. You never know what's going to happen later in the lineup, and so that score very well may count if they have another fall. So love to see her come back with a strong double layout like that, just the step back, but that'll be the score the Wildcats hope to drop.
And just to take it a step further, what you were talking about, you got to record the score. 6 compete, 5 score. You can drop one, but you don't want to do it too early in the rotation. Here's McKenna Smith.
Last week at West Virginia, she was not feeling well. She went into the vault doing this incredible Omelian check. Just like that.
Oh, you bet get out of your seat.
Absolutely nails that without a doubt.
She is ranked number 8 in the country. She has been great on all 6 this year. She's had a couple of 9.95s. This has got to be at least a 9.95.
Just exceptional. And as I was saying at West Virginia last week, right before she went and does this difficult half turn on, front pike off, the West Virginia men's swim team stands up right in front of her in their Speedos, and Carly said they thought about maybe taking her out of vault, and instead she nails it for 9.95 and then carries the momentum onto that exceptional vault today. The crowd is booing here, as they would, because they got 110 and 1.995 for that 9.975 average.
Well, you and I talked about it before the meet last year. In the last 5 years in women's gymnastics, there were so many 10s, it wasn't even a headline anymore. We were seeing 2 and 3 a week. We've seen how many the whole season in all of college this year?
Right, just 3. And Elena Dietz is one who, on bars, she is so technically perfect, and she was one who you often thought of as this beam specialist, but came back in her 5th year and has been stunning on the uneven bars. Closes with her double layout, awesome rise, and the first to nail the landing. Coming back after a fall, there's no one you would want in that position more than your 5th year senior, Elena Dietz.
Yeah, Dietz has been rock solid for them. She talked earlier this year about the chemistry of this team and how this feels different. She's been around long enough to compare other teams. She says this team is the best she's been on so far.
The rise on that is exceptional. And yeah, John Court talked about this team has bought into the we over me mentality. It's not about one, it's about all.
So the 9.975, a career high for McKenna Smith on vault. Ashley Glenn in the 5 spot. So really they're looking to drop a 9.8 with these last 2, Glenn and Morgan.
And Ashley also does the 1.5 vault. Her charge here is to control the power she has. Allie Raceman, the Olympian, compared Ashley Glenn's vault to Michaela Maroney, the most notable vaulter, American Olympian. And yeah, you can see she has so much power. Did a really good job not taking a larger step or maybe a fall there. You could see her toes kind of caught onto the mat a little bit. But it is so high in the air, and this block that she gets, so when her arms leave the table, that position is so fantastic, but has too much power. And yeah, you saw her toes rolled over a little bit. So a really good job to just take that size of step that she did.
Anchor spot here for Arizona. Allison Fears, this is her best event, and she's in all of them. Oh,
we've got Sophie
excuse me,
first.
Sophie Deer first. Yeah, Sophie Deer first. Excuse me.
Love this Ray coming up. Huge release move. Catches it a little bit close. Does a good job maintaining the leg form, but will be a deduction from the bent arms. Just an exceptional bar worker. Trained at Woga from Evgeny Marchenko, was her club coach. Beautiful extension. Full-in dismount coming up that is gorgeous. And you can tell, I mean, she's had huge career scores this season, but is going to be deducted there on the release move.
Had a 9.875 against Denver on this event last week.
This is that Ray move named after Olympian Elise Ray. Just came in a little too close, had to bend the arms, but finished on this high note, the full in. The legs together and pointed toes on that are really spectacular.
Back to the vault, Ashley Glenn got a 9.725, so that's the low score. Emily Morgan looking to knock that off.
Anchor on vault here for the 4th meet in a row.
She's got at least 9.8 or better every time.
Want to see her get her arms back to the table quickly and get a firm block off. Oh, awesome rise. Yeah, she had just too much power, but you know, the coaching staff said, let's go hard today. Let's be dynamic. Let's get out of the comfort zone that they've been in to go 24 for 24 over the last 3 meets. So had a good rise and yeah, just a little too much juice.
Yeah, and Carly Dockendorf was talking to us about what you just said earlier this week. We've reached that comfort zone. Now dare to be better. Let it go a little bit. Be unique. Be dynamic, as you said.
And you've got to do that to get up in those high 197s, get into those 198s, which means you need to average a 49.5 on each event.
Sophie Durr just went 9.9. That's the best mark for Arizona. And now here is Allison Fears in the anchor.
The extension she has, gorgeous Tkachev, really separates her on bars. Good position and showing control there. Just such a natural swinger. Her double layout to close is usually spot on. Does a really good job controlling that. You could see there was just the shoulders were wiggling, the hips wanted to go, but she did not move her feet. Reigning Big 12 Gymnast of the Week. This Tkachev, good height. Does a nice job of keeping the arm straight even though she was a little bit close. That's a veteran move. And awesome extension. You can see that right hip just twisted a little bit, but does a really nice job. That'll help them drop that score. And this is the freshman, Zoe Johnson. Really great exhibition for her. Back to the Yurchenko full. She has done the 1.5 extensively in club. Dealt with some ankle injuries coming in, and so this exhibition position doesn't count as one of those 5 scores, but gives them the opportunity to get some competitive experience.
And teams taking advantage of getting exhibitions, extra competition. Arizona's going to do it with two athletes. There's Sophia Maisel up first. You know, talking about having Wise do an exhibition on bars as well.
Oh, and just a little bit shy on that release move, the Maloney that you see done so often. So again, I talked about this on the fall earlier. It's all about timing. And so if you let go too late, if you let go too early, that high bar is just not going to be there for you to catch, but it's an essential part of her routine. So she's got to go back, chalk up, talk to Coach Kylie Cratchwell, take a deep breath. She's got adrenaline going here, and know that she's restarting from scratch. Sophomore from Houston, trained at World Champion Center under Cecile and Laurent Landy, also known as Simone Biles' gym. Nice job, but wow, fingertip control there. So didn't have enough to make the connection in a row. So she does those 2 swings into the pack salto. It's 3/10 deduction per swing that she takes. So this is just a really hard routine. And Coach Kylie says, you know what, this is an exhibition. It's not going the way we want it. Let's call it off. That's exactly what this position is for. She's got the talent for it, just has to put it together. She will.
And both teams have already booked pretty good scores. Arizona goes 49-150, Utah 49-275. Up next, Arizona head coach Jon Court will join us to break down that first rotation. Plus, we'll look at what the Gym Cats have accomplished so far this year. Celebrating 50 years of Red Rocks Gymnastics inside the Huntsman Center, once again filled to the brim. They draw better than any other women's athletic program in the country, any sport, anywhere, and they just continue to do it every season. Arizona comes in number 19, Utah is number 4. Moments ago, we had a chance to talk with Jon Court, the Arizona head coach. John, let's talk about your rotation on bars to start this meet. The back end, real strong. Elena Dietz, 9.825. Sophie Dern, 9.9. That ties her career high. And then, of course, great Allison Fears in the anchor, 9.85.
Yeah, Jimmy, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Just tell me about your bars rotation, especially the back end.
Okay. Are we on? Okay. So I think that was a bear down moment. Our team showed a lot of grit. It was the first time all year that we had a fall in the lineup. The last three people, the back end, just like you said, they pulled it together. I'm looking at it right now. Got a lot of experience back there on bars. And hey, started the meet out 5 out of 6, 49.15. That's a pretty good way to go.
What are we looking for your squad over on vault here?
On vaulting, well, we have to make sure that we vault big and we land small. That's going to be the biggest thing that we have to work on today.
Yeah, you always get your best scores on vault on the road. You're on the road. Go get them, John.
That is true. Our best vault scores happen on the road. You know, so whatever. I'm going with whatever works right now.
Attaboy.
I'll take any luck I can.
Good luck.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. Bear down.
Thanks, John.
Throwing out the bear down from John Button Salmon, who's the George Gipp of Arizona Athletics from back in the day. Google it, kids. All right, this is how good the season has been for them. They're ranked on everything. In fact, their worst ranking is vault, where they're 30th. But as we just talked about, they do well on the road. They already have a couple of upsets over Denver and NC State. And then they've improved their team score every week. I mean, talk about that trending. If they're a stock, you should have bought them a month ago.
Yeah, absolutely. This has just been the best Arizona team we've seen. And I really credit that senior class. When they were freshmen, Jon Court said Emily Muller, Allison Fears, Elena Dietz, they were going to be program changers. And this is their senior year, and we are seeing that.
What is their motto this year? We over me.
Exactly. And that's not something, the coaches can say that all day long, but if the team doesn't buy in, if the team doesn't hold each other accountable to that, those are really empty words. And he said it's just been a program, a gymnast-led initiative that's really paying off.
And John talked about his assistant coaches and how important they are. He says, why have assistant coaches if you're not going to empower them? He does that. This is what's down the road for them. So they're sitting at 6-1. Their only loss this year against number 20 Michigan at the quad meet, the Sprouts Farmers Market quad, and they only lost by a 10th. So they've almost had a perfect season. And you look at this, Metroplex is going to be a big challenge for them. They have BYU on the schedule, but then they go to the Big 12 championships. Arizona is a real threat this year. This is the best team I've ever seen them have.
And we didn't talk about them beating ASU for the first time since 2017.
Yeah,
you beat your rival, and that's got to feel good.
Duel in the desert. And, you know, it's funny, a couple of years ago, they beat Utah down in Tucson, and that was a national headline because it had never happened. 75 meets, Arizona never won. Jon Court was head coach, and they beat Utah. So they come in here today, and I asked John before the meet, I said, I'm watching your scores go up, and your season best, 196.950, and I'm thinking, well, you're ready for 197, and he wouldn't go there. He said, it's a road meet, high 196, we'll take it.
Yep. To get that 197, you have to average 49.25. So they're already a little bit behind that after bars. And on vault here, they do your Yurchenko fulls across the board. So that is a start value of 995. You saw the coach down there talking to Emma Strom. That is Shelby Edwards-Martinez. That name is familiar because she was a Pac-12 vault champion, and she's their new vault coach.
Here comes Emma Strom at that 9.825 at Arizona State in the upset over the Gym Devils.
And a great landing. If you're going to do the Yurchenko fulls, you've got to land small, like John said, and get the landing. She does have some errors in the air. She pikes down, not the most dynamics, but that stick is so important, and it can be contagious. So you can see her so excited about that.
You know, John even told us coming into the Huntsman Center, some teams get intimidated, but he said this is familiar ground because of their history together in the Pac-12 from 2011 till last year. McKenna Smith starts off Utah on the bars, where they're ranked 3rd in the country as a team.
Just been so consistent, very clean. Sometimes doesn't get those handstands quite all the way up. Does a nice job on the Van Leeuwen. That's a spot where that handstand to me was not within the right percentage. So yeah, a step forward on that landing too. Not her best, just because we've seen so close to perfection from McKenna that just looks and was not the best routine that she has done.
9.775 for Strom to start things for Arizona. Here comes Elizabeth Russo. All Big 12 preseason selection on this event, but only one time is hit 9.8. Needs one here. There you go.
Talked about contagious sticks, and she gets it. Really nicely done. Missed last season, recovering from Tommy John surgery in her elbow.
Yeah, how about that? All Big 12 preseason on vault when she didn't even vault last year because of the injury.
Yep, and you can see why. Super nice and clean in the air. Does the pike down as well. You can see she landed fairly close to the vault. You want a little bit more dynamics than that, but those sticks are going to be essential to them trying to get that 197 mark.
McKenna Smith, 9.775. Here comes Anna Paderariu for Utah, who was great last week. It was a real emotional lift for the team at West Virginia.
Anna has battled foot injuries throughout her career, which really has allowed her to work on her handstand positions on bars. Really differentiates her from other athletes. Watch this high bar handstand she's going to do. Excellent control. Now this full in is one where she's had a hard time finding the landing.
Little hop, but that's it.
That's a much better landing than we've seen from her. You can see Bars coach Jimmy Pratt really working with her on getting the chest up at the end. She's got great height. The rotation just stalls out sometimes, but I mentioned that handstand.
Oh, look
at that. Just exceptional.
12 o'clock.
Here's that dismount we talked about. Full in, I want to see the chest rise more at the end so the landing can be a little more controlled.
She's a reliable scorer on this event. She's got 9.8 or better 5 times, had a 9.9 twice this year. So a lot of 9.775s on the board. Emily Muller.
She's in the leadoff all season until today. Also does that full and just the tiniest of hops. Doesn't keep the stick train going, but like her dynamics, more on that. Had flatter hips today, a straighter body than I have seen her do. Opens the arms there to stop the rotation and help her find that landing.
This event, more than any other, will define Arizona's night because, again, they're ranked 30th. It's their weakest event. But as John Court told us, they're better on the road than they are at home on the vault. And how about this? Avery Neff returns. It was a couple of weeks ago, you and I, right in front of us, she rolls the ankles on floor. This room went silent. They carried her off. We weren't sure we would see her again this year, let alone this month, and here she is.
So she'll do a watered down dismount, just a double layout, but she is such a special bar worker. This Ginger connection caught a little bit far, does a nice job to keep that overshoot. So she's known for the incredible full twisting double layout, and she'll do just a double layout here. Awesome landing. She was begging Jimmy Pratt to let her do the full, but this is a marathon, not a sprint.
That's right.
And you can see both ankles taped. She's never had her ankles taped in her career. Coach Dockendorf said, you know, this was a serious discussion with the medical staff and with Avery, credit to her for working hard in rehab, but also she is a multi-sport athlete. She wakeboards, she snowboards, and the functional difference, the movement that she is and her ankles are used to, not the fact, aside the fact she's 18 years old,
yeah,
can recover a little
helps.
faster, maybe than you or I can, is able to be in the lineup. What a bright spot.
I asked Jimmy before the meet, I said, how close were you to letting her do the full? He said, no. Adults got to be in the room. You got to come back slowly.
Yep.
Abby Martin once again. Muller went 9.8. That's the best score so far for Arizona.
Her positions in the air are the best of the lineup so far. Very nice vault, just the tiny error on the landing. But you know, she has a 9.875 career high. She has been there strongest vaulter aside from Allison Fierce, who you'll see next. Just has the slight pike down. Want to see those hips stay completely straight.
I'm guessing they don't like the Neff score.
That, you know, the crowd here is not shy about letting the judges
They
know.
should be happy as she's back. Emily Morgan, who went 9.775 in the anchor spot on vault in their first rotation, steps to the bars.
Big deep breath before this combination. So difficult. The Maloney, she connects into what's called the Bahardwaj. Full twisting pack salto. Beautifully done. Does that into the Van Leeuwen half turn. And a unique looking dismount coming after this. The toe on, or the Stalter front half. Nails the landing.
It's a great routine.
Really special. The alums letting you know that she ate there. Lonnie Sabato, really awesome to have so many of them in the crowd tonight.
High degree of difficulty on this routine, and as you mentioned earlier, making the transitions flawlessly.
The transitions are what bars is about. You have to have two of them. You have to do high and low. And you know, they experimented with taking out the Bahardwaj, just doing the pack salto to see if it would score a little higher, and it didn't. And so I love to see the difficulty staying in there for the Olympian.
Jessa Janicki now next up as Abby Martin goes 9.85. So Arizona is quietly putting together a good rotation on vault. They need to finish it off with two.
This is the freshman's competitive debut. First time on vault in the lineup. Clearly has the chops. Great line, nice and tall on vault. Pikes down there a little bit, so takes a large step. Club coach Mike Hunger at Twin City Twisters, who is now the Utes vault coach.
Yeah, back in Minneapolis, and she's got a lot of athletes in her family. Her dad, Curtis, played hockey at Notre Dame. Her two brothers, Trevor and Justin, are playing hockey at Notre Dame right now. But if hockey were even harder, it'd be called gymnastics. Right?
Yep.
Thank you. Got to throw one of those in a year. Morgan went 9.9. That's a great score for her.
Ella Zerbis now, the height on that Jaeger, just exquisite, and does a great job to control the overshoot. Look at the handstand positions. See if she can get her full in dismount. Incredible job. That is what Ella has been waiting for. She has yet to crack 9.9 this season, but she has the kind of gymnastics on bars in particular. There are no built-in deductions, which means she does it technically perfect. Perfect is a hyperbolic term I try not to throw out that much, but really her arms are straight, her toes are pointed, and she hones in on the landing.
That's an authentic reaction.
A little deduction, but
well, she had a couple of 9.875s the last 2 weeks, and now she's going to beat that.
Yeah.
Her career best is a 9.925. What'd they give her?
9.95. And that is the score this bar lineup needed. You've got two scores under 9.8 that you need to throw out. Ella really coming in the clutch. Love to see her performing that well.
New career high, 9.95. Puts a little pressure on Allison Fierce, so Arizona can try to keep pace.
Watch her height and distance and extension. Beautiful. You can see how much farther she landed. She couples the height with the good distance, has a great block. When she finds that landing, it is a huge score. Watch the flare out of her arms at the end to open up, stop the rotation. I also really appreciate how she sets off the vault. She gives it a minute to rise before she starts to twist, which helps give her that amplitude.
So Utah has already gone 49-2 with Grace McCallum still up. She needs to knock off one of the 9.775s. She's the NCAA runner-up on this event from 2023. Currently ranked number 3 in the country. All of her scores at least 9.875.
And this connection normally goes chow to the pack. Really nicely done. We'll do a circle there into the Van Leeuwen. Excellent. And it's just about the dismount. She can get this full in landing.
Oh, she's rocking backwards.
Yeah,
College
so
stick.
College stick, unfortunately, doesn't pack take it anymore. The judges need to see you hold your finish position for 1 second. Let's see again on replay. I think her feet slide a little bit, but great height, good distance. Just had
Watch, she's on the heels,
Oh, yeah.
just rocking back and tries to step out of it.
just a little too much juice. But
She has been in 6 bars competitions this year and has won 5 of them.
just beautiful.
Sophia
by
Stevens
her.
now involved for Arizona. This is just an exhibition. Arizona goes 48.975, so just under its season best, but well above its average. So it continues for John Court and the Gym Cats at the U of A. They always put up better scores on vault on the road. That's the discipline that they need to improve on this year. They already broke into the top 20, now looking to break into the top 10. Clara Raposo is going to throw up an exhibition on bars. McCallum got a 9.9, so it carries Utah to a 49.325. That's just 1 click under their season average. And of course, everybody's going to be talking about Avery Neff is back in for Utah. It makes Utah a much better team. And now they have to add in a little bit each week. You know, they told me before the meet she should be an all-arounder by the time we get to regionals. We'll see.
Really like Clara Raposo on bars, has excellent toe point, does those straight body cast handstands, is a differentiator, but still got to get him to vertical like she does there. This double layout, something she has been working on with Jimmy Pratt to adjust the technique so she can find the stick. She's a really accomplished elite athlete, and in the elite ranks, the stick is not the most important thing. So love to see her getting these exhibition opportunities to get the improvement.
5-time member of the Canadian national team. Coming up after the break, we sat down with Red Rock Emily Morgan, a Brit who's made her home in Utah and is making the most of her senior year. You're watching women's gymnastics, the Red Rock birthday bash.
I think to be a Red Rock is the biggest honor, and knowing that we can inspire so many little gymnasts, hopefully, out there, and we can be someone that people look up to and aspire to be like, is something like no other feeling. And I think that's so inspiring to me as well, to push myself to be the best I can be for not only myself, but for others too.
What made you want to leave England and come to the United States and then compete at Utah?
Well, firstly, we don't have anything like this in England. We don't really have collegiate sports. I mean, we do, but not to the same degree as here. And even just watching it on TV or in videos, you just see the sense of atmosphere you have here with sports and the support that everyone has. And to me, that's such a big thing. I love to feel the sense of support, and I just knew as soon as I watched videos of collegiate gymnastics that I wanted to do that. It was definitely a bit of adjustment in every aspect of moving here. Moving to a different place, the different food, driving on the other side of the road, and then obviously the gymnastics too is very different. But I feel like it was almost a gradual adjustment, and it didn't really feel like a massive shock to the system. I feel like I've traveled before, I've experienced different things, and I'm quite an independent person. I like change, and we have the most amazing support system here that it just made the transition even easier.
Go back in time. Who or what made you want to be a gymnast?
So firstly, I have a twin brother, and when we were younger, we were an absolute nightmare, just running around. I think my parents were kind of fed up with us. So they put us in gymnastics for like an hour a week just to burn some energy. I was terrible. I was really bad. My brother was like way more talented than I was. So we tried out at like our local gym, and they really wanted him, but they didn't really want me. But I think they felt a little bad, so they took me anyway. And from there, I was like the worst in my group, and I just knew I had to like work even harder than everyone else to kind of keep up. And that's kind of what I did. And then I soon became, you know, better and better until I ended up doing elite, and yeah, rest is history.
Emily giving a shout out to her twin brother, Finley. And she was actually recruited to Utah by another former Brit and Red Rock, Lucy Stanhope. Tom Farden, former head coach, was touring through England, just kind of looking at gyms and seeing who's, and runs into this. Lucy Stanhope says, I can help bring her to Salt Lake City. And it's funny, she's so excited to be a Red Rock. You're looking at an Olympic bronze medalist. She's been on the biggest stage and won, yet coming here is still special.
Because at the biggest meets, Olympics, World Championships, Olympics aside, well, her Olympics had no crowd, but in gymnastics, this crowd is truly one of a kind. This atmosphere is one of a kind.
And she's part of an incredible lineup because Utah is ranked in the top 10 on everything. Floor is their weakest, which is strange because it's always been a signature event, and they're still number 9, but 3rd on beam and bars, 6th on vault right now. They have 23 gymnasts ranked in the top 50 in the country on different events, including 3 in the top 15 in all around, which is phenomenal for one team. And, you know, they're finding help off the bench, they're finding help in freshmen like Avery Neff, and they're finding help by transfers like Anna Paterario last week at West Virginia on the beam, a season high 9.925.
And this is where her team went wild, because all season we've been looking for her to stick that gainer pike, and that is the most natural expression of joy. She is their leadoff, a walk-on, like you said. She's a walk-on, but she was the 2018 world silver medalist on balance beam. What a leadoff.
And it's same thing, similar to Morgan, you know, put the bronze medal in the drawer and go back into the gym for workout.
And
Paterario was at UCLA, of course, took time off to go join the Canadian Olympic team, was injured, had come here to Salt Lake City to train, injured, missed the Olympics, wasn't sure where she was gonna go, got married, her husband plays in Major League Soccer for Real Salt Lake. She looked up and said, look where I am, I'm in the shadow of the Huntsman Center. Maybe they could use one more gymnast. What a great moment. And here she is on the beam in front of a big crowd.
she is so calm on beam, so fluid. Just your dream leadoff competitor, because she works beam like it's a performance. It's truly her stage.
She is both graceful and grateful for the opportunity.
Very nice full double turn. Because she does the difficulty there in a difficult leap series, she just has really 4 elements to get through in this routine. The first one being this front to back series. Gotta keep moving, gotta stay square on the beam, just like she does there.
Under the eyes of a national audience, a packed house, and all the way in the background, the blue jeans on the white top, Miley O'Keefe, the greatest beamer in school history.
Just the tiniest of bobbles there, and arm balance on the split jump to sheep jump. Throws up the U before she settles in for this gainer pike. Need to see it rise off the end so
Watch
she
her
can
teammates.
find the stick. Unfortunately, takes the hop forward again. They make that look so simple, but running forward off the beam to jump backwards like that takes a lot of finesse, as we see her series. So the judges are so particular about these front to backs. You have to stay square and you cannot adjust your feet in between. And that hop forward can be between a half tenth to a tenth, depending on how the judges are feeling today.
And I swear it doesn't matter what her score is. She always has that genuine look of joy on her face, because she didn't know any of this was going to happen. She didn't know it was possible. So it's like bonus gymnastics for her as she extends her career. To the floor, and Elizabeth Russo.
She's been the leadoff all season because she has such great energy and is so consistent.
Comes from Vegas, where she was the state champion on this event back in 21.
Solid double full to start. That's an E move. Highest rated skill that the athletes can do in college gymnastics. So she's a senior, but she's only 20. She came into college at age 16. John Court said she's got low miles despite the injury she fought back from. Here's her combination pass, this 1.5 to front layout. That layout didn't rise as much as I wanted to. Technically, the flips should happen about at your shoulder level. The combination passes. Very technically difficult. Some more front tumbling to close her pass here. The front Rudy. Front flip, 1.5 twists. Well landed. When they step backwards like that, you don't want to see them move their feet. Really entertaining, great energy from Elizabeth LaRusso.
This is a good event, but not a great event for Arizona, one that they're trying to improve on. They averaged 49 on the season.
And this second pass is the one where I think she needs to get a little more height. So the 1.5, you have to land in the perfect position to get the rebound from that front layout, to have the height, the amplitude that you need to be without deduction.
Cami Winger now, who is ranked 14th in the country on this event. All of her meets have all been great scores. 4 times she's got 9.9 or better, and 9.95 against Utah State.
She's a powerful but also elegant athlete, and this routine has all new elements that she learned in the offseason. Obviously testament to her extreme work ethic and talent, but also Carly Dockendorf and Miley O'Keefe, 2 of the best beam coaches you could ask for.
Oh, how good was that?
That
The triple was gorgeous.
is just flawless. And you're watching it from this angle. We could see if her hips are off. They were perfectly square. Switch leap series there into the split jump. Nicely done. Since she does that triple series, gets most of the bonus required, your routine starts at a 9.4, and then you have to get 0.6 of bonus points from hard connections like she did in that triple series. And the full turn is a
Just a little
requirement.
bit there, yeah, dip that hip a little bit.
Yep, is gonna get a probably 0.5 to 1/10 to deduction. Here's her gainer, full dismount off the side out of a back handspring to close off another nice routine. It's so dynamic. And that triple series, these fans appreciate how challenging that is. And I love in the lineup to go from Anna Potterario's series, the front to back, and then you've got the triple series. You've got good diversity of elements. As we look at this again, the height on those and the toe point, really exquisite.
You know, when you're on a roster with Grace McCallum and McKenna Smith and Emily Morgan, Anna Poterario, it's hard to get your attention. It's hard to get the spotlight from them. But the Utah fans do their homework. They know how deep their team is, especially on beam. They're very proud of that. So it's great to see her getting the acknowledgement now for the great work. LaRusso at 9.775. Here is Allison Fears.
For those of you Suzanne Vega fans here, not every day you hear Tom's Diner college gymnastics routine. Love it. After the first couple meets, wasn't liking how Floor was going, so reworked the order of her passes. Starts out with a beautiful, almost over-rotated 2.5. And then to Nina Simone, come on. Her last pass here is super difficult combination. LaRusso did the 1.5 front layout. She'll put a full twist in that second somersault. Essential to land in the correct position.
Stays in.
Excellent job. We are right by that corner. Her feet did not go onto the white.
Well, it's been her most challenging event this year. She has gone 9.9. Did that last week against Denver. That tied a career high for her. Here's that last pass. Watch her feet.
So you've got to land that 1.5 in the correct position. like I said, to get that full, and she was a little bit off kilter. And so, you know, the longest distance is point to point on that floor, corner to corner. If you're off at all, you're going to be on that white, and she's a tall athlete, so great job.
As she recognized. And
Air
scoot.
awareness.
Yeah, a little scoot. McKenna Smith. Hold on.
And this music, her beam song as we call them, because the gymnasts get to choose the music playing while they're on beam only at home.
Her last 3 beams have been exceptional. All 9.875 or better. A 9.95 at Best of Utah a couple of weeks ago.
Like the command she showed on that full turn. You can tell when a gymnast is nervous on beam. Usually on that full turn, the ankle can bobble a little bit.
I think she loves being on beam.
Yeah, I don't think she gets nervous. Here's her layout series. Flawless. This connection up here, she'll do 3 elements in a row. Essential for her to connect them all and to move smoothly between them. That she's just smooth.
Yeah.
That's the.
And her face to me is, watch this.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Right?
Blues against the crowd. And here's her gainer pike. Watch the height that she gets. Opens up, nails the landing.
Come on.
That is such a fabulous routine. Such command of the beam. Really, the adjective list I have for her is just ridiculous.
That's going to be another one, 9.875 or better. That'll be 4 in a row. It's going to challenge that 9.95 Best of the Year.
I love how she comes straight up on that flight series. Shows great confidence in
She
her
was
ability.
in complete command of this routine, start to finish.
Yep, pulls the heels together. Again, the way she shows the judges, when she sticks, like we saw her nail vault, she is not gonna let them question it. She's going to sell that stick, as she should.
It's a hug from all 3 coaches. Mike Hunger to the right, the new coach here, taking care of vault, Jimmy Pratt Mars, and of course, Carlene Dockendorf.
So a conference between the floor judges here. There was a leap pass that Allison Fears did in the middle, and I wasn't sure if she got it all the way around, so that could impact her start value. I'm trying to see what the judges are put up there for the start value, but tough position for Kronfeldt to be in here. You've got a sort of a pre-routine prep that gymnasts do. Sometimes it's very rigorous and timed, and so you got to start it all over depending on how long the conference is. But Fears goes 9.85. Awesome score.
Arizona keeping pace with Utah in this rotation.
For your Aerosmith fans out there.
Sure. Sweet Emotion.
Great medley. Just sit back. This freshman dances and performs so well. That's a big double pike to start. Excellent, almost too much rotation.
Barely got to the sting mat, yeah.
Good head closure on that ring leap. Smartly does that far away from the judges. They can get really picky on those dance elements. Combination pass again. 1.5 front layout. Awesome. The combination of Arizona's 3 female coaches, Shelby Edwards-Martinez, Kylie Cratchwell, Taylor Spears, they all contribute to these floor routines. And this season, they've gotten so smart with the music. The crowd, whoever you are, your team or not, you are into these routines. Double back to finish.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Beautiful
really nice.
routine.
Does not move the feet.
Well, that was fabulous.
That's why the freshman is in the lineup, because, wow, got the total package on floor there. She's performing, she's dancing, and has the 3 tumbling passes. And that 1.5 front layout, beautifully controlled. And then ends with that double tuck. Chest is a tiny bit low if I'm being picky there. She'll get a deduction. But what's important there is not moving your feet.
Aubrey's been on a roll. Her last 3 on floor, her best 3, including a career high 9.925 against Air Force. We go back to the beam in Utah. Potterio went 9.8, Winger 9.85, McKenna Smith 9.925. The trend is going upward, and here's Amelie Morgan stepping to the beam.
Love how she shows the flexibility right off the bat. Such a different style than McKenna. Smooth, controlled. Like her pacing. She'll do a triple series here, work the whole length of the beam, 2 back handsprings, layout, step out.
Holds on to it, nice correction.
Great correction of that right foot. Has exceptional shoulder flexibility that she shows off throughout. This is a new-ish leap combination, did that last week as well. Just shows a little extra doing that beam jump all the way down to the beam. Just a really compelling marker. Important full turn. She dismounts off to the side here, will swing, stand on one leg and do a front full. Nails it.
They just keep putting up big scores.
Yep, just a wonderful, wonderful beam worker.
Kids are loving it.
Former
They take care of their
athletes.
fans here.
Yep.
When they're giving out shirts, the first 1,500 got a shirt, but the first 100 got a special shirt.
And what about that bunk cake?
Bun cakes.
I haven't seen one
We're
of
gonna
those
go
at our
search
table yet.
We're going on the concourse in search of bunt cakes during the next break.
She's so good at finding that landing. You can see how close she is to the beam. That's a terrifying dismount to do, but not for Amelie Morgan. Super special.
We have to remind people why Utah is so good on beam. That's all Carly Dockendorf. When she took it over as an assistant coach, they became #1 in the country 2 years in a row. Then she became the head coach, and they're still one of the best in the nation on that event. Back to floor, Abby Martin.
Starts with a big double pike. Little too much juice. When you land there, your front foot needs to stay planted.
What did John Court tell us about Abby Martin? She's physically stronger and better emotionally. She's a leader of this team now.
Asked to be pushed harder so she could make it into the all-around. Just some front tumbling here, front layout, front full, beautiful pass. Choreography and performance quality is so important on the floor, and I just think Arizona has made incredible strides over the last year in that area. Ring to the Turgete half. The leap's as important as the dance in the judges, and then their bonus values calculation. Also closes with the double tuck. Super important to get this landing. Just a little slide, but really entertaining. This crowd appreciates that.
Arizona is not just a better team, they're a deeper team, they're a more polished team this year. I mean, a huge leap. And they've been getting better the last couple of years, but this team next level right now.
They seem so confident in a different way. And that comes from feeling prepared, from being bought in.
But at least 12 freshmen and sophomores on a team that is improving this quickly.
That's great recruiting.
Grace
Good
McCallum
coaching.
also going in inverted, took one last look. She's ranked 18th on the beam. Coming in hot on this event, back-to-back season highs 4 times, has got 9.9 plus, including her last 3. Here come the wolf turns.
Few do them as cleanly as Grace. Her arms stay put. Your arms are so essential on balance beam. Controlling them, that controls your upper body. Here's her back handspring layout flight series. Ooh, you could see it was a little bit off after the back handspring, but pulls it back on. Just that slight balance check. Here's her flight series, or excuse me, her leap series. Switch to the split leap.
She's already got 9-9 on both vault and bars tonight.
This back dive here, a signature of hers. Just
Does it on floor as well.
Yep, just some unique elements. Caps it off with her gainer full off the end. So we've seen pikes from McKenna Smith and Anna Potteriu. She's gonna throw a full twist in there. She's so good at finding that landing. Just the balance check on the flight series, but what a treat to watch this Olympian.
So she had beam face all the way until she hit the landing, and then she melted and smiled. So she was all business on the beam.
So this gainer full has to be in a straight line from the beam. So difficult. Really, really spectacular routine from Grace. Aside from that one minor wobble.
Utah's already at a 39.45. Here comes Emma Strom on the floor, one of the routines we were looking forward to. Her head coach says she doesn't compete, she performs. Start me up. I think Arizona stole my mixtape.
Front tumbling. We'll do a Rudy here, bounce into the layout, step out. Oh, wow. And we get a reluctant
flag.
Very reluctant flag.
He didn't want to put it up.
No. So you get 1/10 deduction for every foot that goes on the white. That ring position, not quite at her head height. But again, she's doing those away from the judges, so it'll be hard to see. Her mom, Michelle, was a gymnast at Denver and commentates the Arizona home meets. It was really fun to listen to her last week. Showman here.
That's the performance.
And also a difficult 1.5 front full like we saw from Allison Fierce. The control on that was special. And salutes the crowd.
And except for the step out.
Yep. The pieces are all there. And this isn't the time in the season that they all need to be perfect. They need to keep building on this. But wow, had so much power. And oh gosh, it looks like.
Gosh, if she keeps her heels up.
Yep, just the heel goes down, I think, on the left foot.
I didn't have any doubt when I saw it live, but now I look at it,
right.
I wasn't quite so sure.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why the judge was so reluctant to raise the flag.
Yeah,
like,
you know.
It was a pump fake, and then he finally put it up.
They can inquire that to see if it. At the end to do a video review. We'll see if
yeah, they're looking at it
that.
on their iPads to see if they can figure it out. Elizabeth Gantner now. She's been on the beam now in the last 4 meets. Broke into this lineup midseason last year. A couple of 9.85s, including at West Virginia last week.
Beam specialist, back handspring layout series, excellent. Switch half to straddle jump. Difficult connection gives her lots of bonus. Love an oversplit straddle jump like that. Makes for a great photo op. breath before the full turn. You can see the nerves come in just a little bit there. Deep breath before the round off 1.5 dismount, new to her this season. And nails it. That is the first time she has stuck that dismount. Awesome.
Her season high a 9.85, her career best a 9.875.
What a beam team. Man, Carly
Carly's
Dockendorf,
face, yeah.
you would not know that beam was her least favorite event in college. She
Yeah.
got 10s on bars and floor at Washington. Hated beam.
And she was a bars champion in the Pac-10 back in the day, yeah.
Yep. So they are. Was she shooting the arrow there? Love that. Just celebrating
Valentine's arrow.
with the friends in the crowd.
Gave Strom a 9.75 even with the deduction, so that was a 9.85 or better routine. Emily Muller.
Another really entertaining routine coming up.
9.875 a couple of times this year on floor. James Bond.
She's been
Oh, Pink Panther, my bad.
special her whole career. But this senior year, really turning it on. Double pike, drops out of the sky. Excellent landing. Watch for a kick line here from her, from the team. Great straddle positions there. She had a little trouble with this last week. Great timing, well connected. This one. Carrie Bradshaw fan, Jim? No? No Sex in the City?
Kidding? Of course.
Double tuck to close. What has been a flawless routine so far. Wow.
That was great.
Yep. She knows it.
It
Holds
was
the
fun.
pose.
Kept changing music, transitions. She danced her way through it. She had fun. And watch her teammates right with her.
Gymnastics, it's called artistic gymnastics for a reason. It should be entertaining, and artistry looks different for every person, but you've got to have the tumbling to match, and Emily Muller does. Awesome.
Jaylene Gilstrap in an exhibition on beam.
She starts with one of those candle mounts as well, and talk about a vibe shift in this arena. We talked about the beam songs being chosen by each athlete, and so to switch over from floor to beam, and that's a new flight series for her. She used to do the 2 feet, and so this exhibition spot important for her to just get those kinks out. Also a new leap series, good ring position, like the pointed toes. And also a new dismount. We've seen all day, gainer pike. Really exquisite dancer, and we get to see more of that when she goes to floor. But there's that gainer pike. She's not thrilled with it, but she'll get that. It's important to get that depth in the exhibition spot.
Arizona goes 49.075. Utah just went 49.475, their second highest score of the year on beam. Coming up, we'll catch up with Utah head coach Carly Dockendorf. Talk to her about the beam. Plus, we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Red Rocks Gymnastics. We'll be joined by a special guest, part of the legacy right here at the U. Back inside the Huntsman Center as we celebrate 50 years of Red Rocks Gymnastics. They're calling it the Red Rocks Birthday Bash as they circle the wagons before they go onto the floor. Carly Dockendorf, head coach, joins us now. Hey, let's talk about keeping that connection to the past. Why is it so important here at Utah?
Because this program has been built on a history of excellent gymnastics for 50 years now, and it is just honestly, it's just such a privilege to be a part of this program and to continue the legacy on for as long as it is.
Speaking of excellent gymnastics, great beam set, 49.475. Talk about your highlights from that routine.
I thought they did an excellent job on beam. I thought they were dynamic and they were aggressive. I thought they showed their presentation off really well. And just so excited to see Elizabeth Gantner stick that dismount. She's been working so hard on that, and I knew she was ready to put it all together.
Carly, before we let you go, I know you were in a different role earlier this morning. Your daughter Crosby in her first gymnastics meet.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. I think I was like more nervous as a parent watching her compete this morning than I am tonight, but it was so great to finally get to watch my daughter do her first gymnastics meet and then to come here tonight and have all of these women just be so inspirational for my daughters.
And you weren't the only one. I talked to Jimmy Pratt, your assistant coach, before. His daughter Daphne was there too, and when I brought up, he had the same smile you did.
Yeah, it was really special this morning.
Good for you. Congratulations on that one. I know you're going to give her a hug after the meet, but you guys are having a great night. Keep it going.
Thank you. Go Utes.
Carly Dockendorf, who's been here 8 years now, the head coach in her second season. It is alumni night. There are, 45, 50 alums in the room. And every time we come here, there's a huge crowd. There's always a tie to history. There's a connection to the past. And we have one sitting with us at the table. Missy Marlowe, one of the greatest gymnasts in school history. Let's see. Let me see if I can go through it, Missy, and I'll try. Tell me when I start embarrassing you. Two-time NCAA team champion, 5-time individual champion, Honda Award winner as the Gymnast of the Year. She also won the Honda Award for the best female gymnast in the country. Is that enough? Wait, the '88 Olympic team as well. So obviously the credentials speak for themselves. Why is it when we come to meets, you're still here, you're still around it? What does it still mean to you?
Oh my gosh, this program is my heart. I have lived within blocks of the University of Utah my whole life. I now live about 4 miles down the road, so I'm really far away now, But this crowd has been going since I was here. I mean, we're talking 30 years of 14, 50,000 fans. And the place that these fans hold in our lives is immeasurable. I cannot thank them enough for what they've done.
You grew up here, and was there a chance you'd go anywhere else? You must have come to meets when you were younger. Was this always the destination?
So back in the day, Utah worked out on Sundays.
Yes.
And I would ride my bike from my house, and my mom would follow behind me, and we'd circle around the fountains at the U. They're not here anymore, but they used to be. And then I'd go and watch practice. And I'd sit there on the benches in the old hyper gyms, and I'd watch practice. And even when I had been on the national team for 5 years, I made the Olympic team. I'm like, I want to get to Utah. I need to get to Utah. So that's how important this school was for me. I did take a recruiting trip to Stanford. Wonderful time, love the people, but I'm like, you know what?
It's Stanford, you gotta go look.
Yeah, right. You absolutely do, but I'm like, this is where my heart is, and I called Greg, and I'm like, let's make it happen. I came early, I did high school the same year as my freshman year of college. It was insane, but the good, the bad, the ugly, it was all there, right? And just a commitment to give back to this program was so intense, and it's life-changing to be here, it really is.
So in addition to celebrating the 50th anniversary, this is National Women and Girls in Sports Day this week. So you've got 2 daughters, both college athletes. Obviously, the gymnastics fans know Milan Clausier, exceptional gymnast at Cal, Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. Also, volleyball player Marley at Colorado Mesa. So how important are recognition moments like National Women and Girls in Sports Day?
They're huge. I mean, you can't state it enough. The thing that is so amazing nationally is the attention that women's sports are getting are massive. And it's ever growing, and people are finally figuring out that female athletes are amazing. And they are unstoppable, and they're powerhouses, and it is so fun to watch. Come here to a Utah women's basketball game. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. The crowd's on fire.
I have 2 in my family, former college gymnasts. I have 2 daughters at home, and I look back at Title IX, which is over 50 years old now. and it guaranteed equal opportunities for women on college campuses. It wasn't even a sports article, right? It was Title IX.
Yeah.
It changed everything. And of course, there was some lag time. It took a while. We go to the fourth rotation. Arizona begins on the beam. Arizona's ranked 15th in the country. They average better than 49, nearly a 49-1. This is Allison Fears in the leadoff.
Spot she's been in all season because she's so good at making little corrections like that. Hips were not square, but you could hardly tell. Uses the arms to correct, like she does there on that full turn. Missy, where did you like to be in the beam lineup? Start, middle, end?
Honestly, I hated competing.
In the dressing room?
I mean, I did okay. I fell occasionally, and sometimes I was on, but oh my goodness, what a nerve-wracking event. It is so hard to compete. You know, I didn't mind training beam. I would throw skills. I wasn't afraid of beam like a lot of gymnasts are. But man, I was that one that was waiting for the power to go out or the earthquake to hit or something, you know. Right. It's
a brutal event.
Such a hard event.
Her steadiness,
Great
though.
landing, yeah.
Well done, Allison Fears. She's
Exactly
been
what
improving
you
on this
want.
event. Her scores rising slowly but nicely. Boy, Arizona's having themselves a pretty good meet.
Yep, this is a pretty ubiquitous dismount these days, that round off 1.5. You see how she looks over her left shoulder to spot the landing, helps you find that stick.
Taylor Spears right over to the hunt. Taylor Spears was a former NCAA champion on balance beam.
Speaking
We
of
go to the
Spears,
floor.
yeah, get ready for some Brittany from Ashley Glenn. Just love the name on the back of the Leo.
I do too. All 6 of her scores this year, at least 9-8.
Opens with the E front double. Almost bounds out of it. New to the leadoff position. Carly Dockendorf likes the energy she brings, but is also so consistent, and the leaps there really exceptional. Final pass, that 1.5 to front layout. Nice job. So solid.
You know, Missy, I don't know, when I come here now, we used to look forward to the floor so much, but now I mean, ever since Miley's been on beam and Maddie Stover before that, beam now has become my favorite.
Has it?
Yeah, I think so.
It's
reward.
hard to, no, it's really hard to pick an event. I'd say, if anything, probably the least exciting to watch is vault, just because it's so, you know, it's so quick. I mean, 4 seconds and you're done.
Yeah.
But floor, you know, seeing the shine and the tumbling passes are just super fun to watch. I myself, as a gymnast, I love to compete bars the most, so I always love to watch bars. It's probably the event I'm the most critical of, to be honest. But you know, balance beam, I'm like, you know what, you're out there, babe. You just do your thing.
I remember coming here when I first started covering Red Rocks gymnastics, seeing Georgia DeBritz on bars.
Oh,
No
she
Grips
was
DeBritz.
magical. What an inspirational gymnast she was.
Tirza Wise, oh, unfortunate. You could tell she was just hips completely off after the first back handspring. So
Take a moment to gather herself. And here's the thing about Utah gymnastics, the crowd. That's an opponent who just went through a tough moment, and they say, it's all right, we're with you, get back on the beam.
she went to the same club as Miley O'Keefe, so you know she's excellent training on beam. She's gone 9-9 this season. But that missing that flight series will have a huge impact on her start value.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So she's not going to get credit for the back handspring layout step at. So we'll see what they do with the start value there, because that will hurt.
Yeah, probably as low as a 9.6 when you miss the special requirement as well. So unfortunate in the second time this meet that Arizona will have to come back from a fall. The 1.5 dismount, you can see she's disappointed, frustrating for her. But she's an excellent beamer with an excellent beam coach there in Taylor Spears.
So Spears got a 9.775, waiting for the score on Ashley Glenn. Here's Maya Hambrick, some final words. Ella Zerbis, she has had a couple of problems on floor, not physical, but emotional. They're calling it performance anxiety. So she's fighting through that. Just think of the courage to get out there and you're not sure exactly what's going to happen.
She had a really exceptional floor performance at West Virginia last week. I love this like intense elegance that she shows. Starts with that front double like we saw from Ashley Glenn. Beautiful.
You know, what I love, Ella has had a couple struggles in meets this year, and it shows what a holistic approach Carly has to her team. You know, she hasn't been pulled, she hasn't been sought out, she's still out there. That shows so much communication in practice. How are you feeling? What are you doing? Is this in your best interest? Do you want to wait, you know, another week? Do you want to go? I mean, I just have so much respect for Carly and Maya in that situation. I love it.
And they have built in some new choreography right now in the corner on the floor, giving her some time, but still building the drama as well, and goes right into the last pass. 1.5 front full, awesome.
What a moral victory for
Yes,
Ella.
it sure
Oh
is.
my
And
goodness.
everybody lets out a sigh of relief. We knew she'd be okay, but now she knows she's
you can
okay.
see it on her face. Isn't that beautiful?
What a wonderful moment.
And, you know, a mental injury, you don't have a cast to show on a broken arm. When you're dealing with something and that's invisible like that, it can be so hard to understand. She went on social media and said, this is exactly what I am dealing with. And so I just think the growth and the ability for us to discuss mental health, mental struggles that people are going through is such a great advancement for the sport.
Absolutely, and Carly has made it clear that she will not penalize her gymnast for one mistake. Like, that's just not in her arena, you know, and that is such a healthy outlook.
It's a sport that demands perfection, and it's impossible to reach it.
Right.
Oh, great
Especially
score.
this year, they've only given out 3 10s.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're making it tougher.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
What do
I'm
you
a bad
think about
person
that?
to ask about story.
Well, I mean, we all have our opinions.
But no, I mean, I think they're doing a better job. Could it be better? Of course, it could be better. But it's probably an improvement.
Yes.
Will it lead to consistency across
Well,
the country? That is
It's
what
going
the
to take a little
goal
while to
is.
settle in. 9.9 for Glenn, a 9.875 for Ella Zerbis. That is, you know, that might be the takeaway performance of the night because of how much it means outside the arena.
Right. Well, I'm such a fan of this team. You know, personally, they're such amazing young women. So yeah, that on a personal level is huge. I mean, that's something you know, you go to bed thinking about it and you wake up thinking about it, and it carries on. It doesn't have an end point. It carries on to the next week.
Gianna Lechner now for Arizona. The first time we've seen her tonight.
Beam specialist. Talk about how hard this is. She warmed up beam about 2.5 hours ago. She's gone through the whole meet and then has to go up on beam.
I mean, it's difficult to do that on an event, but particularly beam, there's just way too much time to think. And in my opinion, the less time to think, the better on beam. You got to let your body take over, and you got to trust your training.
She's had nearly 2 hours to think about this 1 minute on the beam.
And also had the judges conference in front of her after Tears of Wise fell. So lots of different pressures that she's dealing with. Want that back leg to be a little higher, both on the split jump and on the stag ring. Her sister Aspen on the team at Oklahoma.
I can't even comprehend having 2 kids in college gymnastics at once. Oh my goodness. I feel like I should send flowers to her parents.
Did you think Marley was ever going to go gymnastics
Marley,
route?
Marley went up through level 8.
Okay.
And yeah, she was on the regional team at level 8 and just decided it wasn't for her. And
Excellent.
beautiful landing. Yes.
I remember the first time that you sat at the table here with us was when Milan came back with Cal.
Oh my gosh.
I remember sitting here with you and I thought, why are we doing this to you?
I know.
Putting you on camera, it's such a...
I'm like, what am I supposed to wear? What am I supposed to say? I mean, if you talk, you know, I mean, I've tried to make it very clear. I have my loyalties to Utah, but if you're going to ask me about a close second, boy, you give me Cal any day of the week. I love those coaches. I love the parents. I love the kids. What an amazing school.
Cami Winger's intensity on floor is super fun. Great choreography from Carly Dockendorf. Maya Hamburg do such a good job with these floor routines.
Cami's been in the floor lineup the last 3 meets.
It's with that combination pass right into the corner. I couldn't see from here. I don't see a flag either.
She was
She's
in.
okay.
Yeah.
The Arizona coach came over to this table after the last rotation to ask if we thought that they went out.
Pretty close, though.
Cami's such an impressive utility player for them. She can go in on any event at any time and has great difficulty, different kind of performance value. Artistry comes in so many different shapes, sizes, and colors.
When you and I were talking with Carly Dockendorf this week, I pointed out the one time they put Winger in the all-around at the Best of Utah, 39.475. It's a huge score.
And a huge 2.5 to close. That is a really special floor routine. Yeah, she sits at 8th in the country in the all-around with that score right now. We switched to the NQS system probably next week, the week after.
Well, it's always so amazing to see the local, you know, the hometown kids be the superstars. I mean, it's just right. And you're right. Look, she's right there, but she did not go out. It was close. Yeah, she'll need to get that straightened out just a little bit more towards the corner, give herself a few extra inches there. Yeah, a little bit of crossover with the left foot on the 2.5, but what a difficult last pass.
Yeah, and that's something she learned in the off season. She did a front double last year, and they switched up the passes.
Go back to the beam, and Emily Muller. Muller's been in the beam lineup every meet this year, coming off a career high 9.95 in the upset at Arizona State.
She does one of my favorite flight series here that Utah fans will remember. This is what Miley O'Keefe has done, or did for years, this side aerial to lay out, step out.
Hold on.
Yeah, just that.
Such a difficult pass. It's so hard to square up the aerial. In my opinion, that's harder than a backhand swing layout. I don't know if everyone would agree with that, but being completely straight out of anything that turns in the air is very difficult.
Absolutely. Leap series, crisp. She and Fears, such great senior leaders. Both gymnasts of the week the last 2 weeks, an honor that Coach Court said they hadn't gotten in about 10 years. So really showing the great rise of this program, and they're competing for the top of the Big 12 with Utah right now. Great landing. Really like the difficulty in that routine. Here's this flight series again. So as he was talking about, that aerial, you turn sideways, have to square up your hips before you punch into the layout, step out. Good form in the air on that 1.5, didn't cross her feet.
Arizona has bettered its team score 5 weeks in a row this year. 196.775 was their total last week at Denver, season high. McKenna Smith on the floor.
Move down in the lineup, gives Miley O'Keefe a wink before she even starts.
I mean, she's just unflappable. You know, what a rock star.
Just never looks nervous, never is nervous. This front double punch front is so awesome. The rise on that flip. That cat 1.5 is a little bit of a throwback. I love that to the wolf pull off one foot.
I think she's a good example. When you're the lead-off position for so long, you really don't get the credit you deserve, I think. You know?
Unfortunately.
And she has absolutely come into her own this year. I don't know if you can, she's better this year, yes, than the other 2 years, but she came on as a freshman on fire. So I almost hate to say that because I feel like she's been this good for 3 years. But everyone is finally starting to recognize McKenna for what she's worth.
Yep. And you know, when Avery went down, it was so important for McKenna just has gotten better and better every meet. This place goes wild. As it should.
That might have been the moment of the meet in terms of gymnastics. We had an emotional high, and now this from McKenna Smith on the floor. I mean, those were genuine reactions from her coaches, her teammates. Obviously, the fans loved it, but they know when they see something special.
And the rise of this
Right here.
front tuck.
Look at that.
And I think that's not talked about enough. You know, the second skill is supposed to be higher than the first skill, and that's hard to do. It's hard
Like
to
that?
not drop out of the first skill, yeah, and have it be lower. And a lot of, you know, your general fans may not recognize that, but McKenna just nailed both of those.
She was walking around the arena handing out those glasses. We got a couple of pairs here. And, you know, she comes in, she just enjoys the moment. She loves
Right.
being on the floor. She's talking to fans. She's smiling. She's throwing out winks.
995 ties career high. And then over to just an exquisite beam worker in Elena Dietz. Handspring layout series coming up, and you could see over the top in that layout, she was a little bit off. Back and will be starting nursing school at Arizona.
She had a breakout season on beam last year. She's got 9.5 this season.
Very solid switch side. And leaps into her gainer full, after this front toss. She's very secure. And I like the high releve she works on at different points. So here's the dismount switch leap, and she'll swing through to the gainer full. Awesome. You could tell she's disappointed, but what a beautiful
She
routine.
really tried to get her heels together on the landing.
Yeah,
I mean, such a great dismount, but we'll see what they do with it.
I think
I
she
mean,
went
good
all the way into
connection,
first,
really smooth.
right. Yeah, maybe an inch between the heels.
So the 9.95 for Smith, and now here comes Jalen Gilstrap.
What an exquisite starting pose, just befitting the beauty in this routine. A toe point that almost hits the floor like that. That is just some special anatomy.
Missy, were you here the night of the Red Rocks preview with
No, I
the
was
piano
not,
live?
yeah.
That was special.
I have loved Billy Joel since I was about 4 years old, so.
The rise that we
Yeah,
talked
the
about.
rise on the second somersault is incredible.
I'm waiting for her breakout routine this year. She's yet to hit the 9.9 mark. Oh, wow.
it's just such a quintessential song about life. Can I say that? I'm sorry.
Are you singing in your head?
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to interrupt your broadcast.
We're all in
here.
awe in different
But
ways.
when you think about this song, you're sitting in your car, you hear it, and it's tragic, it's uplifting,
Yes.
it's sad, it's, you know, it's
life.
It's just
life.
amazing, and it has staying power, you know?
That's why we still all know it.
And
It's why it resonates
that
with
was
so many.
such a beautiful routine for Jaylene.
I mean, that song was out for 30 years before Jaylene Gilstrap was
Well,
born.
perfect
and
for
she's
our
still using it.
50th
Yeah.
reunion.
Right.
Yeah, we were talking in the last rotation about Arizona's music choices. Awesome, popular songs or notable songs, and just a way to get the crowd involved and connect to your routine. Really appreciate Jaylene there. She under-rotated that full a little bit, but I thought did a nice job showing control. That step back looked almost like choreography.
That's where flexibility matters.
Right.
Flexibility is really the only way to cover for slight mistakes. And she did. She got the kick up and back. It was high, it was light.
Yep.
And that's the difference. If someone was slightly off and not that flexible, it'd be much more of an obvious mistake.
Abby Martin for Arizona, the sophomore from Texas, a former national champion on this event at the club level. Obviously, this is her best event 4 times this year, 9.85 or better.
This is a really high pressure position here because after that fall, if she hits here, they can drop that and have a very solid beam performance, not to add any more pressure on her than there already is. She's the highest ranked beam worker. You can see taking a deep breath. Front aerial coming up here. Excellent. Now, if you're watching Milan, was beam the most
Oh my
painful?
goodness. Sometimes I just put my head down. Pretend it wasn't
Wait 90
happening.
seconds.
Except she was good on beam. So it was,
So
it was
great on
always
beam.
okay, but no, it's horrible if you're a parent.
Yeah, that Cal beam, Liz Crandall-Howe, special beam coach.
Nope, she works magic on beam, no doubt.
So she moved to the anchor spot just last week, and this is proving to be the right spot for her to be in. Gainerful, a little bit whippy, but does a good job minimizing the steps on that landing and allowing Arizona to not count a fall.
Yeah, they're going to end up with a pretty respectable score, not only on the beam, but on the entire meet. They may not get to their season high, which would break a streak of 5 in a row, but Arizona is a top 20 team now. We go to the final performance on floor. It's Amazing Grace.
And look at that score, team score, before she goes. That
49.525 right now.
ties their season high.
You know, I could watch her full twisting double back all day. It always amazes me when these little tiny gymnasts can tumble 100 feet in the air. You know, I just,
Right, the
I
height
just
she
love it.
gets. But also, you did that in your day as well. Her arms are a little bit longer than the average gymnast, and I just think it looks so beautiful in her dance. Front through to double tuck. Really want to see her get that turned over in the round off back handspring. Great job controlling the feet on the landing. We call them her signature wolf turns because she does them so well. Harder on floor than on beam, I think.
I don't know. I wasn't of the era of triple wolf turns. Thank goodness.
Thankfully, right.
Yeah.
I was just going to
Because
ask you.
they are so hard.
Wow. Yeah, what an exclamation point on such a great meet for the Utes.
If that's better than 9.875, it's a season best for Utah on the floor. They're probably going to fall just short of their season high score, but it's going to be another very high 197 for the Red Rocks. And you know they were under a little pressure tonight, Missy, doing it in front of all the alums who are in the tunnel.
Oh, yeah. We don't let them forget where they're from. Not for a second. No one gets up easily.
You set the standard.
They're just a wonderful group of young women. You know, they're going to be champions for life. I'm sorry if that sounds dorky, but it's true. And we're so proud of them. We're proud of our own legacy, and we're proud of what they're creating also.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny. Almost every meet I come back, there's a handful of alums, and it's great to see alums all getting together for a purpose. You guys have a gala tomorrow night. Everybody's going to get together, right?
Oh yeah, it's the only time in years I get to wear a
I was going to say, is it a dress up? Yeah.
I know. I'm going to try to curl my hair again. It'll be 2 days in a row. That's a lot. We'll see how it goes. But
there's that it's a double warp turn we were talking about. Sorry about that. It just shows how hard that is. This is an exhibition here for Emma Strom.
Pretty hard position to do an exhibition beam routine when the rest of the meet's over.
Yeah,
and you're the visiting team. You know, I give her credit for that. But it's not an easy situation to be in. At the same time, she needs to prove herself if she's ready for the lineup.
Right.
So it's still important.
Yeah, people grabbing their coats and trying to beat traffic, and she's trying to focus. There's a lot of movement in the background. Got to stay focused on the beam.
Exhibitions aren't allowed at every meet either, and so it's something the coaches really want to take advantage of. And yeah, just a rough day for her on beam here, but it's an event that she has been in the lineup for. She has a 9.925 career high. I'm sure her mom, Michelle's in the crowd with her head down like you. She was a former gymnast at Denver.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch your children do it. You know, it's
hard to watch anyone.
Pretty helpless feeling.
How much worse it is.
It doesn't matter how good they are. It's still helpless.
I have a daughter who's a club goalie in soccer, and last year the team gave me an award at the banquet that said most likely to watch the game from the parking lot.
Well,
I
you know
can't
what?
do
If
it.
Greg Marston can go up the tunnel and never watch beam in 40 years,
Yes, that's true.
you get that. It's okay.
That is an award that should be given to people watching beam.
Zoe Johnson, exhibition on the floor.
Reworked her tumbling passes. She came in from the club with a huge double layout, but it's about controlling her power, and she could open that double pike up on the second salto. A little bit squirrely on those leaps. The facial side she makes throughout the routine, really expressive. Teammates cheering her on for this front layout, full front layout, beautifully done.
And flashes the U at the very end, as they all do. Were you guys doing the U back in the day? Did you guys do that?
Nope,
Didn't do that?
nope.
That's
We predate the U, thank you for that. We also predate cell phones, so it's okay.
I remember, yeah. Before we let you go, you just brought it up, and we would have buried the lead without saying this, but 50 years of gymnastics, all those alums in the tunnel, these great gymnasts here, the 10 national championship banners. It all started because a long time ago, the University of Utah decided to hire a long-haired, poorly mustached grad student named Greg Marsden.
Right.
And he did 40 years here and turned the whole thing around.
You know, it's hard to say enough about Greg Marsden. He cared when only a few people cared.
That's right.
And I don't know if he came here, you know, he'd have to tell you, but if a fire was lit under him, and he was unstoppable. And he powered over who he needed to, and as he went, but he never took no for an answer. And I mean, I witnessed that myself, and it was empowering as an athlete. Having a coach that would just get in there and fight for you for everything gives you so much confidence, you know. And in 1990, he's like, "We're wearing hot pink."
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. You know, if anyone knew the
tell
rules,
him
then it's
no?
Greg. Other schools tried to say that's against the school rules. He's like, no, it's not. You know, I mean, just
He was trying to get attention. He asked for the band to come in. He wanted the cheerleaders in here, right?
Absolutely.
He said, we're a sport like any other sport. Where are they? Let's get them in here.
And that's so empowering as an athlete to have that confidence in your head coach, and you couldn't help but feed off it. It was magical.
Missy, thank you for coming by.
Thank
really
you so much.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate
special.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Much easier for her this time without a daughter competing out there, right?
Oh, so much more enjoyable.
Now go enjoy with your fellow alums the
have
celebration.
Fun at the gala tomorrow night.
Thank you.
The great Missy Marlowe, of course, a two-time NCAA champion and a five-time individual NCAA champion. Here's your final scores. Utah puts up a 197.675. So it's one of their top scores of the year. I got to look at it if it's second best or third best this year. They win 197.950, and Arizona goes 196.125. Grace McCallum joins us now. Grace, a great night for you. 9.9 vault, 9.9 on the bars, 9.925 on the beam, but maybe you saved the best for last. Talk about your floor in the 9.925.
Floor was just the cherry on top. I feel like it was such a fun meet, such a fun environment, and the energy just kept building throughout, so it was a good way to finish on floor.
And then I feel like you started strongest on vault as we've seen all season. Can you talk about your progress with that?
Yeah, I feel like vault's something I've had to be really patient with myself, and I feel like I'm just gaining that confidence each week, and I'm trusting myself more and trusting that landing. So today was really fun to finally see everything starting to come together.
So what a special time, a special place, as you know, but to be with this alum group and the gala this weekend, can you talk about the legacy of this program and what it means to you?
Yeah, it's so special to be part of such an amazing legacy program. Just the history and all the amazing girls that built up this program to make it what it is today. It's truly an honor to be able to compete here alongside all these amazing girls.
Yeah, you know, we got national champions in the tunnel. We were just talking with Missy Marlowe, who is a multiple NCAA individual champion. There's a lot of talent on this team, but can you explain McKenna Smith to me? She's a different kind of cat, isn't she?
Yes, McKenna is her own person. I mean, I've loved seeing her grow every year she's been here. I mean, I really aspire to have the confidence she has. She just owns it, and she goes out there with so much confidence in herself and her abilities to go and hit and do the gymnastics she does every day in gym.
Did she give you any of the sunglasses?
No. She better give some to me for next meet.
Here you go. Here you go. We're giving you a pair right now. Throw them on. Let's see what.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. That's how the world should look to you, because this is the best time of your life right now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Enjoy it, Grace. Thank you for the time. Congratulations. Another great night.
Thank you. You too.
Let's take a look at what's coming down the road at Utah. They've got some tough stuff in front of them at Arizona State on Valentine's night. Arizona State still hurting from the loss against Arizona. We'll be back here for the Denver meet. Then they go up to Seattle. UCLA is always a rival, regardless of who's in what conference. And then the Big 12 championships, which are at the Maverick Center across town. And then they're going to host the NCAA regional. So it's all kind of lining up for Carly Dockendorf and the Red Rocks.
Yeah, because that regionals, the format that's been around for a couple years, you've got to be in the top 8 on that last day. So that is such a pressure-packed position. And, you know, frankly, I love them at number 4 right now because I know they have room to grow. They did so well tonight, but there's still more that they can improve on.
Well, it was a great celebration. It was the Red Rocks birthday bash, and it was a success as Utah wins it with a 197.675. For Elisa Mao, I'm Jim Watson saying so long from the Huntsman Center. 50 years of Red Rocks gymnastics. Thanks, Greg. We know you're watching.